Thank you, Valencia, and a pleasant good evening to all those who are listening and those who are watching via ZIZ to Leadership Matters. I first of all would like to commend the task force who has worked tirelessly over the last 7 months to have us in this unenviable position. As it stands today, we have had 19 cases of the COVID-19 and all have recovered. On October the 31st, Saturday coming, will be a signal moment in time for the Federation. Our borders will be tested significantly. As it stands today, two schools of thought. On the one hand, we have persons who would wish the borders to be open. And on the other hand, we have persons who would wish the borders not to be open. Obviously, both positions are diametrically opposite. However, the Federal Cabinet, along with the advice of the NEOC, the task force, has come to the conclusion that we have to open our borders come October the 31st. But what does that mean? We have over the several months been given advice through different media platforms about the necessity of ensuring physical distancing, of ensuring we make sure that we sanitize properly. And so I believe that over the last several months, we have become accustomed to what is necessary to ensure our safety. However, I must stress that come a Saturday, we will be in an entirely different space. And so our positions will be very well tested come Saturday. But I'm confident that given the learnings and the teachings that we've had over the last 7 months, we would ensure that we keep safe. However, our reopening, things must clearly be very different. As a destination, we have to differentiate ourselves from the others. We have to ensure that our safety protocols are satisfied, because if we don't, then we put ourselves in a position of contamination. We have had the difficult position to determine whether or not we have a difficulty with the COVID-19, or as it stands now, tourism being the #1 economic driver and attracting some 6,000 plus persons in the industry are on the breadline. I had the opportunity today to meet with the taxi and tour operators for near shy 4 hours. The meeting I would submit was a very important meeting, because at that particular time we were able to put the position of the state of the industry to the taxi and tour operators as it stands today. We had also the opportunity to have the task force headed by the chairman Abdia Samuels present at the meeting to at least communicate to that fraternity the reasons for our in-depth approach to this matter of the COVID-19. Of course, there were very many concerns raised by individuals in that fraternity. But I believe at the end of that meeting, the understanding was that what we have been doing over the last 7 months is to ensure the safety of our citizens, which is paramount. In fact, because we are such a low-risk destination, it is going to add value to our tourism product. I think the task force has to be commended for their tremendous work in keeping St. Kitts and Nevis as safe as it is today. You recognize that come November the 7th, for the first time over the last several months, we are in a position to receive international commercial air travel. Scheduled to come on November the 7th is American Airlines out of Miami and British Airways out of Gatwick, London. The American Airlines is scheduled to arrive with some 128 passengers. We had the opportunity yesterday to have a walkthrough with the federal cabinet and the members of New York and immigration and other stakeholders to see firsthand what has been done at the RLB International Airport over the last several weeks to retrofit the airport to a standard that is satisfactory to the health officials in New York. I must say we were pleasantly surprised of the enormity of the work conducted over the last several days. And I am advised that the RLB International Airport would be in a state of readiness for Saturday, October the 31st. And more importantly, to receive our international commercial carriers on November the 7th, 2020. We have retrofitted the airport on the arrival section with a 50 by 100 foot retrofitted tent, fully air conditioned by November the 7th. We have put in the stations for the screenings. We have an isolation section. We have divided the immigration section into two, whereby we have a queuing area for about 40 persons. We are confident that everything will go smoothly. However, we are prepared for any eventuality. Today's meeting with the taxi and the tour operators saw a number of issues raised by them. And I think we were able to address most of those issues in that forum today. A big concern of them was that the prescribed protocols in terms of their transportation vehicles required them to put either plexiglass or Velcro. But I believe at the end of the day, Mr. Samuels having explained them the nature and the reason for that decision, I think they were comfortable with that. As of today's date, however, which is part of our concern, is that only 23 taxi operators are currently travel approved for transportation come October the 31st. And so that we communicated to that fraternity that we needed to see more taxi operators being travel approved so that we don't have a challenge when it comes to transportation of those individual visitors who come to St. Kitts and Nevis. Because the protocol will be that it is only the travel approved taxis and tour operators will be able to gain entry to the RLB International Airport in order to ply their trade. And so it is very important that that position is known and that position was communicated to them today. As you would have heard from Dr. Laws, there are two classes of travelers: those who will come to St. Kitts and Nevis from the CARICOM bubble, and those who would come to St. Kitts and Nevis outside of the bubble. Those who come to St. Kitts and Nevis within the CARICOM bubble will have a certain number of hotel and properties available to them, which are in the CARICOM bubble, the Hermitage Inn, the Hamilton Beach Villas and Spa, Montpelier Plantation and Beach, Nevis Golden Rock Inn, Paradise Beach Hotel, Pinnis Beach Hotel, Sugar Bay Club, and Timothy Beach Resort. As far as the international travelers are concerned, those will be designated to the branded hotels. I believe we have worked tirelessly over the last 7 months to put the necessary protocols in place, have communicated the necessary message to the community, and I am confident that come October the 31st and beyond, we will have smooth travels. But I should emphasize that what happens here on is determined by what every single citizen does. And so we expect that every single citizen would appreciate that the COVID-19 pandemic is real. We need every single citizen to understand that the wearing of masks is essential. The sanitization of their hands is essential. The social distancing is essential for us to maintain our position as it stands today. If we look at our Caribbean brothers and sisters, and if we take, for example, St. Lucia, I think it was only yesterday that St. Lucia saw the highest number of COVID cases, and I think it was 9. We have to ensure that not only do we ensure that our citizens are safe, but our visitors alike. And we will take every conceivable position to ensure that that position is maintained. And so I want to commend the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis in advance for ensuring that the protocols which we have established over the last 7 months are maintained to ensure that each and every citizen of the country is kept COVID-free. And with those few remarks, I will end. Thank you very much.